Cairo International Book Fair, and she's a poet. We're joined now with Iman Elewa. I'd like to thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Sharif. Thank you, Rasha. I'm not a poet. I'm a normal human being who does express her thoughts and ideas through some words. That's it.
So this is an easy way to say a poet.
That's being humble.
I mean,
we consider this a poet.
Word for me. Abdurrahman Al-Adnoudi is a poet. Shall I be a poet like him? I mean,
that's being humble.
That's humbleness of you.
Yes. First, before we start talking about your own works, I'd like to know your feedback about this year's Cairo Book Fair.
I'm really impressed. I mean, as far as I've heard right now from some sources, I'm not saying these are the official ones, but I've just heard from some trustworthy people. Till yesterday, something like 5 million visitors have been here. I mean, were here till yesterday. I mean, to say that's a big number.
That's a
lot.
What
if every single one of them gets only one book? That's beautiful. And I've met actually some beautiful ladies here coming from some governorates from Egypt, traveling, having their objective is to come to the book fair and get some books in this and that field. I mean, this is beautiful. I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, I think it's amazing to see, the amount of people pouring into the place. I remember there was one day there was over 1 million people joining the book fair, and it's really marvelous to see people excited and have the passion for reading.
Yes, the number increasing that much, and yeah indeed.
While we tend to think that people are no longer reading a lot, but it's I don't think this is true.
From what we saw, all of us, obviously, people are reading. Maybe the point is we need more.
Yes.
We need more. We
more
need it to happen
content.
more frequently, not only during the fair, throughout the year. Actually, if I can say so, we really need to make it a part of our culture. I mean, in the buses, the stations, people, instead of, we talk a lot, I think. We need to read a bit more.
I think, like you mentioned, it always comes with, the new cities. When you build a city, you plan to have a cultural area.
Yes.
A place where readers and poets and writers would join to learn. I think we're always missing, raising this part as part of the agenda of, building new cities. And maybe it's a good thought for the new capital of Egypt.
Well, I totally agree with you. Okay, and let's. It's a positive criticism. I'm sure it's that way. Nowadays, I see, if I can say so, and people. There are lots of restaurants, lots of places where we eat, where we get food for our sort of stomach. That's good, of course. We cannot live without that. But what about the brain? I mean, it needs its food as well.
The food for thought. Yes.
Yeah, and the food for the brain is, I mean, reading from a book or from whichever source. But for me, I'm a book lover. I love books. I love libraries. Whenever I'm in there, I feel peace. I'm happy, even if I'm not reading. I don't know why, but I love such places. Yeah, you're totally right. And I hope we while planning the new cities and new places, there, one or more cultural
areas.
centers. Yes.
Now,
thank you for the beautiful question.
I know that you don't, or you're too humble to accept us saying that you're a poet, but you are a poet. So I'd like to know more about your interests. What makes you write?
You mean to say
what triggers you as a poet?
Negativity.
Negativity.
Yes. You know why?
Why?
Because it teases me, if I can say so, and from that teasing comes motivation. Criticizing what I don't like in a positive way. Okay, I like to write in the field of motivation mainly, and development. I love this field. It's beautiful, and I love it.
So
from negativity comes positive. We can create positivity from something negative.
Definitely, you can transform it.
Yes.
We need to know more about the passion for reading. You said I have the passion for books.
Yes.
And did it come maybe from you when you were young? You read a lot of books. How did it start? How did the passion start?
My beautiful dad, my beautiful father. He was always bringing me some, you know, the green books. I think we've all been through this.
Yeah.
You know, the green
Yeah, the green library.
Yes, okay.
The fairy tales and all the various
yes,
stories.
But this was at home, the green December. All the
I
stories,
had it.
the beautiful. Yes, of course. I think they were there in all our libraries at home. Plus the school, of course, we were reading, and I think it came from here.
Yes.
It came from here.
So this transformed to poetry too.
Beg your pardon?
This transformed to poetry too. Because you know, the reading builds the creativity and the art of writing eventually.
Yes, indeed, of course. But if I can say the analogy, it's like a concentrated pill. I mean, the poetry. You can read a whole book, I don't know, 300 pages, 500 pages, and then it's amazing, of course, and it needs someone who's really talented to write something of the sort. But what if you take this whole amount and you do concentrated
in one page,
in some few lines? That's a very concentrated dose all at once.
Yes.
They are linked, of course. Yeah.
Of course.
Now, when you write your poems, are they short poems? Are they long poems?
Sometimes
are they colloquial?
short,
Tell me
sometimes
more
long.
about your style.
I mean, I have one I can show by example, maybe.
Yeah,
okay.
please.
And I write in English and I write in Arabic. In Arabic, I write, you know, what's known as مربعات or رباعيات. Okay,
like quartets in a
yes,
sense?
oh, quartets, exactly. These are extremely concentrated. You get the whole thing and you put it in 4
like Salah Jain?
lines. يا حبيبي, may God bless his soul. I mean, I'm a real fan of Salah Jain, طبعا يعني.
Yeah. Then you said Arabic, then you write in English, you mentioned.
Yes, but I don't have quartets now in English with me. I have some, 4 quartets.
Yeah. So you have in English
I
for
have
us?
something with me.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
in
great.
All right.
If you'd like to read
We're
us
already
something.
excited.
We were talking right now about the outcomes, some of the positive outcomes of this beautiful book fair. I think it has to do with lifelong learning. I'm totally pro. I'm a real fan of.
Yes.
How can we develop if our learning stops when we finish our university or school or whichever? It can never go this way, and we can never develop, neither as human beings, nor as a country, nor as the whole world, if we stop our learning process at the end of our university studies, right?
Yes.
So I have something related to life. How can we continue learning if we don't do it through something like this, books? Yeah. Okay, it says, let knowledge grow from more to more. Said it Tennyson, and it is the core. A limitless sky. Shall we fly high or waving by, foot on the floor? A changing world in a very fast pace. Where would we be if staying in place? By standing still, our country will cross its mountains or stop at a hill. Sir Einstein did see a fine line. You're only alive when you do shine. Irrigate your brain, harvest the gain, be the plane, the sky define. Last but not least, a great artist, sculptor, painter, poet, scientist. Till 87, with all what he's done, was still learning to do exist. And here I'm talking about Michelangelo. Till he reached 87 years old, till he was 87 years old, he was saying, I'm still learning. That's amazing. Shouldn't we continue learning as well?
That's very nice. It's a very nice piece, and there
you.
is a lot within the lines, like you mentioned, that needs to be, looked at and read several times. Thank you very much.
Now, how long does it take you to write a poem? Like, would you think about it and then rewrite it, readjust the thoughts, or do you just write it all at once?
Sometimes you feel it's there, and give me a pen, give me the computer, I have something bombarding my head here, it needs to come out. And sometimes I feel I need to write about this, okay? Where are the words? They're not here yet. I have to wait. Maybe I need to get teased by something, okay, in a way or the other.
Yes, we now know the negativity pushes you.
But it depends. It's not constant. Yeah. It
and would it also affect the way you write if it's like the emotional state the amount of negativity, the topic, would it affect the style, the way?
Of course, I write about whenever I see something positive as well, but I mean the thing that triggers me the most to write, when I feel the energy is very, something
Low.
is, there is a volcano coming out. This usually pushes in a stronger way, but I write whenever I see something positive that affects me as well. It depends, it depends. It depends about the mood. Sometimes it depends. There is nothing constant about. Did I answer your question?
Yes,
okay,
for sure.
Yeah. Now, I'd like to ask you, it's a naive question, but I'm interested
there are no
in
naive
it.
questions.
No.
Please go ahead.
Now, some people, like some writers I knew, their thoughts are connected to the pen. Others, to the pen.
The pen itself.
Others would do that tape recording or some computer. What about you?
I mean, that's a beautiful question. And
It is.
it is one of the things that stopped me from issuing my diwan till now. I mean, sometimes I write, how can I connect these things together? I'm having my iPad with me, sometimes onto my my phone, okay, my tablet or phone, sometimes on a piece of paper, other times. I need to stick to one of these tools, actually, to get my my diwan published. I have a quartet. It's in Arabic, if you allow me to say it.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
can you
It's not the tool. It's don't give me something with lines. For me, I hate lines. I don't like lines. I need the free.
So you're going to read it in Arabic
The open area.
or in English?
This quartet is in Arabic. If you allow me
But
to
she's
say
trying
it, can
to
I
say
say
that
it?
Yeah, but okay, in
it's not
that
the pen,
case,
it's like the
if
free
you'd like to say it and then translate it for us.
Sure.
Yes, please.
I was searching for a notebook, okay, a paper notebook.
Yes.
That has no lines, okay, and it was quite difficult to find it at that
Yes.
moment. So I took whatever was in front of me and I said, نفسي في كشكول إن شاء الله بقرض ماله في سطور لا بطول ولا عرض مش ممكن أقول غير كده مقبول سطري إذا مقفول بتساوش أرض. Meaning, I mean, give me something. Don't limit. Don't draw the lines for me. Don't show me I need to do this that way. Leave my creativity, if I can say that I have some,
No, you are.
To fly high. I want to write what I want. Don't limit me, please, with the lines.
I love it.
This is nice. I like
It's
it
really
a lot.
nice.
Thank you very
Very
much.
nice.
It says a lot, maybe about you, because you know how you transformed her question into one of your quartets. And it's very, and this is why your question was very good.
I mean,
it matches, yeah.
Yeah, if it
Yes,
brought
you are.
out poetry, then it's great.
So now we know that it's about it's not about the pen, it's about the free space on a paper.
Yes.
For you.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
about the non-limiting atmosphere.
Indeed, of course, we're having. One has his or her own guidelines, ethics. Of course, yes, but I don't like to limitations. Leave my creativity to fly high. Out of the box thinking. Okay, ethical and out of the box thinking. That's what I really adore. Actually. Yeah.
Very good.
Now, do you feel that right now with the advanced technology, the social media, the internet, do you feel that that's challenging the writer and limiting the creativity, or is it enriching it?
It depends on how he or she are using it. If one is following with all due respect, but it's very clear that some non-positive things are thrown onto the social media for whichever reasons, and some people keep following these ones. Okay, if they do, I mean, the output is definitely related and connected, highly connected actually to the input. And if one is following a beautiful writer, for instance, or wisdom, related quotes or positive news, and I think the output will be directly proportional to what the input is about. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. How are you seeing today's atmosphere that inspires people? So we had this phase after the revolution where people were really inspired about writing. How are you seeing it today?
Writing, not reading. writing.
Yes.
I've heard a friend of mine, she's working at a publisher's house, and she's saying, I mean, I can see that's her own, these are her own words. The writers are more, nowadays, they are more than the readers at a certain point of time. But, and I'm paraphrasing her still, it's about the quality, not the quantity, okay? But the positive thing, and definitely the good quality is what lasts. Yes. Quality lasts, I think, okay? There are people, we're having beautiful people in our country. For instance, one day there was like a cultural salon in one of the libraries at Maadi, and I've attended, I was just passing by and I attended it. I saw some beautiful writers, poets actually, writing in Arabic, coming from different governorates still. The Fusha Arabic, okay. It's very difficult and extremely beautiful.
The classic
we have
Arabic?
lots of beautiful people. Yeah. Yeah. But maybe they need to be known.
Do more.
Do more.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel that being a poet or a novelist can be just enough as a career, or it's not enough anymore and you need to have a side job?
Are you reading my mind? I mean, both of you. I mean, it's a dilemma that I still have. You know, you need to be a writer and a poet. Maybe you need to be in a certain mental status, okay, peaceful status sometimes, okay, to get, especially if you're writing about motivation and development. Get teased and then get some rest so you can get it out, your thoughts, I mean. Myself, I'm an amateur, okay? That's not a profession for me. If I'm working in other fields, you know the daily challenges you're having. Sometimes you don't have enough time to rest and you don't know how to get it out. But I think throughout the day or throughout the days, it will come out. But it will come easier, I think, if you're controlling your atmosphere. I think so. The peaceful one makes it come easier, if I can say so.
Yes. But, what is your plans, the upcoming plans for writing?
To take all of the bits and pieces of my works that are everywhere and put them together and issue my first diwan, inshallah. I was writing, you know, believe me when I say before, I was writing whatever came to my mind, and I don't know where the paper went afterwards. I could not find it. Till I started to put them here, shwaya, and there, shwaya.
Collect them.
Yeah, I want to put them together and issue the diwan, inshallah.
Any plans for maybe moving those stuff to online, to move it online for people to read, to have more visibility?
Well, yes. After issuing I love paper, the paper one. Though nowadays you have the electronic versions, of course. Yes. I can do this. Okay. I can do this, inshallah.
Now, other than Salah Jahin, who's your idol or your role model in poetry?
Yes.
Other than Salah Jahin,
yes.
Who's your role model in poetry?
May God bless his soul, Sayyid Hijab. Sayyid Hijab is, I mean, he is actually one of the first writers. I mean, remember the series of Al-Ayyam?
Yeah.
Okay, with the beautiful voice of Ali Hagar and the beautiful music of, may God bless his soul, Ya Rabb, Ammar Shari'i. His lyrics and his words, I mean, were the first actually to get into my brain. I was 5 maybe, or 5 years and a half. So Sayyid Hijab, Biram, Tunsi, Fuad Haddad, we have Gamal Bakhit, the beautiful Gamal Bakhit, with all due respect to all of them. Yani. We have so many beautiful people.
And talking about poets, of course this year the tribute is for Salah Abdel Sabur.
Yes, Abdel Sabur. And Abdel Sabur, yes, of course. But maybe my style, they tell me your style is somehow, seems like being inspired by the ones I mentioned before. You know, what you put, we said, it has to affect your the input affects the output, of course, yeah. Yeah.
It's, let's move to a rather not a sensitive topic, but usually the freedom for lady writers and the women writers is kind of limited for some reasons, like the cultural backgrounds, maybe the pressure of the community. Do you think this is true, or you have the freedom to write whatever you want? Is there any hidden boundaries that you feel, not necessarily for you?
If I can talk about my own case here,
Sure.
my boundaries are they're here. Yani, I usually don't like to go beyond certain limits. But the thing, and yes, of course, there are some social, I don't know how to call them, limitations. I mean, this is still there, unfortunately, and I want to be to contribute, to be one of the people who contribute in changing this sort of culture. Yes, a lady can write like anyone.
Yes,
I mean,
true.
she has her own thoughts, and she can express them. It's the freedom of writing, as long as she abides by, the all ethical and cultural.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. So
Ethical or cultural? Because, they kind of differ.
logical culture,
Yes.
ethical and logical cultural things, because some things are okay.
Yes.
Some people, that's not with me, but some people, a lady who will come on a TV show, I mean, that's an issue sometimes, and writing.
Yeah.
So what's wrong? That's something to be proud of. And some, with all due respect, some people with some cultural backgrounds, they'll go this way. If the family in the very first place believes in something called arts.
Yes.
They don't read, for instance. They don't know how the taste of poetry is like. So what's a writer? We're having a daughter or a cousin or mom.
Even can we classify you as a feminist?
Shwai.
I think you are. You're
Yeah.
courageous.
Yeah.
Outgoing.
I'm pro anything that's positive, including the mentality of a strong woman. By the way, so being a strong woman, I'm not talking about myself, generally speaking, I think it's something good, something beneficial to her family, to the whole community, actually.
No
Okay,
doubt,
she's
yes.
strong. She can support the family. Being brainy, Kaman, is something very positive, I think. So that way, I see it as something positive.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, we want to continue our talk about your work once again. What type of poetry do you write other than what we have listened to? Anything else that you want to share with us?
Well, it's something related to my beloved Egypt, actually. Our beloved Egypt, let me
Very
say.
good.
Yes, please.
It's saying that, I mean, even if there are some tough times, that's history, and we're strong enough to overcome any obstacles that are there. I think so, Yani. That's my belief, Yani. I said, our glorious bride, dressed in bright white, twinkling red and black, catching any sight. Escorted in her sky, her precious eagle flies high. What a visionary eye, clear greatest night. No matter how heavy a storm is, how wild, our eagle won't lose faith, won't ever hide. Spreading his wings, he flies, storm swings, he sings, greatest height. Aren't you my guide? When our precious eagle gets a bit tired, rejuvenating his powers does come from inside. One day or two, not stating a few, then again he will pursue a very righteous right. Some very weird birds are full of pride for flying 10 feet without a single slide. How are you, dears? Gonna cause him fears. Do you think that here gravity is defied? Our precious eagle replied, I am by the side of peace-loving beings of any kind. I just don't understand not giving a hand to the one helping you stand tall, upright. The bride has the pride to save us despite our challenges. Sounds right? Ain't. Sounds true, ain't I right? Her love is the principle by which we're to abide if willing to continue breathing worldwide.
Very
I
good.
love my country.
That's beautiful.
Very
That's
good.
beautiful.
Thank you very much. It has been a
Thank
real
you.
pleasure to have
The
you with
pleasure
us,
is mine,
and
definitely. I'm
we
honored.
enjoyed the poetry.
Thank you.
I wish you the best
you.
of luck in your upcoming work.
Thank you very much. Very
Thank you.
same. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move now to a short break and returning back with more.